Hello and welcome to my show where we discuss problems that no one has. Now today we're going to be looking at the tragedy of Romeo and Juliet, uh, unfolded in Verona 700 years ago. And we're going to be discussing theories, discussing with my friends. And we're actually going to be interviewing the chief deputy officer. I don't know what the title is, but the main police guy in Verona where Romeo and Juliet takes place. So remember to stay tuned for that. On to this first segment, we discuss it with our friends. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so we're here. We're going to go around a circle, discuss who we think is responsible. I'm going to go first. I'm going to go with Tybalt. Like I said, he just tries too hard to be cool. Like, he fought Romeo for no reason. He was just mad that, like, Romeo was trying to get with Juliet. And then he challenged. Do you have something in your mouth, Maddox? Okay,
No.
so what I was trying to say.
You're talking about Tybalt?
Yeah, we're talking about Tybalt. Tybalt, that whole fight with Romeo, where he dies, I think that sole reason
Sorry,
was
I had
him.
something.
See you gaze back into the void. Like, just nothing. Okay, anyways, Tybalt, he's really like a hot-headed buffoon, and then he goes, and then him dying, like, he genuinely rage baited Romeo so bad.
John, pay attention.
Okay, dude, this is for a grade.
I know, I'm just.
You just said rage baited.
And he rage baits Romeo into killing him, and then he like, what are you taking a picture of, dude? Can you take this seriously?
Can you?
I'm not saying,
Yeah,
I didn't take
take-
a photo of it.
we saw you pull up your phone, dude. You need
I
to
didn't
take
take a
this
photo of it.
seriously. God.
Anyways, like I said, Tybalt causing. Let's move on to John.
I kind of. Okay, I kind of agree with all the points that Landry made there. I mean, it is kind of Tybalt's fault. I don't really have much to add on to what he said, but yeah, he pretty much said everything that like needed to be said. Next.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I feel like Tybalt was just adding on to conflict that didn't need to be added on. Like,
Right? Yeah. I agree.
As I noticed while I was reading that, like, nobody really cared that much about Romeo and Juliet except for Tybalt. Like, he was super into the family beef when nobody really cared that much. Besides Tybalt, he like added the fight, which didn't even need to happen in the first place.
Yeah,
Which
I
ended up
agree.
getting it ended up getting him killed.
And then it only like deepened the feud. Like there was no feud before. Then I mean, okay, there was a feud, right? And
yeah,
then
it was like a
and then
hidden
but like nobody really cares. And then Tybalt comes along, and then it's just dumb. I think also Paris being 50 years old is just kind of strange.
yeah.
Like him,
Yeah. I do-
like Paris being.
I just
Like-
really wish I was Juliet so I can be with the nurse, you know?
Okay. We're gonna move on from that.
Okay,
We're gonna
man.
move on from that. Do you have anything to say, John? You've noticed you've been pretty silent.
Yeah. I don't really have like much to
Anything
say. I feel
about Paris?
he's kind of weird. I personally wouldn't want to be Juliet, so I could be with that nurse. I don't know about you, Maddox. Though.
I just really want the nurse to treat me like how she treated.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Juliet.
I'm gonna cut this segment out.
You're strange, man. You're strange. Yeah, no, I don't really have anything else to say though. I think Landry made some pretty good points in his speech, so he's good. But I will say I think a little bit of it could be on Romeo and Juliet's part because they were kind of like they just kind of like rushed into everything because I mean the story only took place over the part of like what 3 days, but other than that, I think that's it.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
there was, yeah, okay, sorry. There was a lot that happened that first day. That first
You want
day.
to redo that one?
Nope, I'm gonna keep that in. That first day.
All right.
Like that whole party. I think yeah. Again, like Maddox said, adding on to conflict that didn't need to be there. They were literally having fun. Even Capulet himself is like, let this dude just enjoy the party, and then Tybalt's like, yeah, I'll just cause conflict that's like super unnecessary, and like fight this guy, and he's just at a party.
Yeah. Like literally just minding his own business, and everybody doesn't care that he's there.
And nobody cares, and then Tybalt is just I think Friar Lawrence, like, having the whole marriage, kind of not bad necessarily, but pushing them together even more. It's a problem. Anyways, that's it. We're gonna move on to the next segment. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me.
Look at this guy trying to be the center of attention.
All right, I'm gonna end it now.
All right.
So moving on to the next segment, we're gonna be talking to the police, like deputy, chief officer, whatever you want to call him, of Verona. What he kind of has to say about the whole thing, about the families, about the tragedy, stuff like that. We're gonna move to that.
Signora Presidente designata della Commissione europea, signora Presidente entrante della Banca Centrale, signore e signori, sono davvero molto lieto di essere qui oggi anch'io per ringraziare il Presidente Mario Draghi per il suo impegno straordinario al servizio dell'Europa e per formulare alla Presidente entrante Christine Lagarde i migliori auguri ed esprimerle grande fiducia per l'incarico che si appresta a svolgere. La cerimonia di oggi rappresenta anche un'occasione di riflessione. Sono infatti trascorsi ormai 20 anni dalla nascita della Banca Centrale Europea e il bilancio che possiamo trarne è certamente positivo. Mario Draghi ha raccolto il testimone da Jean-Claude Trichet in un momento di grande cambiamento, dopo i primi 10 anni di unione monetaria, caratterizzati da condizioni economiche relativamente stabili, con una crescita moderata e costante che la banca ha favorito e accompagnato. Un primo decennio nel quale l'istituzione è riuscita a costruire la sua credibilità intorno all'obiettivo di contenimento dell'inflazione, assicurando coerentemente con l'obiettivo prefissato che essa si mantenesse intorno al 2%. Nel 2011, tuttavia, l'impatto della crisi finanziaria imponeva all'Unione e alla banca, in primo luogo, un cambio di passo. La sfida, infatti, era presto divenuta esistenziale: sconfiggere la percezione della possibilità, se non del rischio, di dissoluzione dello stesso eurosistema. Una possibilità e un rischio che oggi possiamo considerare sconfitti. Alla crisi dei debiti sovrani, con i suoi effetti su banche e imprese.
So that was the chief deputy officer from Verona, whatever you want to call him, and that was his opinion on everything. So that's what he thinks. I didn't get to see the translated version, so whatever he says, that's what he says. But yeah, that's it for the whole show. Make sure to tune in next time for when we interview the ghost of William Henry Harrison, 14th acting president of the United States, and we interview him and answer why he is the most forgettable president of all time. See you.